Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa and Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.
Hello, my name is Mary Campbell, legal assistant at the law firm of Figueroa and Associates, and your presenter with this week's immigration news. The real migrant bust king of North America isn't the Texas governor. It's Mexico's president. The Biden administration and Texas are taking credit for an unusual springtime lull in illegal border crossings, with the White House touting its legal pathways and Governor Greg Abbott championing his troops and concertina wire. But analysts, immigrant advocates, and migrants themselves say it's Mexico blocking the path north. Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador's immigration agency has intensified a busing program that aims to hurt migrants' chances of reaching the U.S. border, or at least delay their arrival, by apprehending them on highways, train routes, and airports, and shipping them to the southernmost part of his country. López Obrador is likely motivated by economic interests. Last fall, a surge of hundreds of thousands of migrants flooding the U.S. Southwest created a hurdle to trade between Mexico and the U.S., its largest trading partner by far. U.S. gives 350,200 migrants citizenship since 2020 election. The 2024 presidential election and other down-ballot races could be heavily impacted by the number of migrants naturalized since the last major election cycle. Approximately 350,200 refugees and asylees have become naturalized between fiscal years 2021 and 2023 and are eligible to vote in this year's elections, according to data from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. An approximate total of 2.66 million refugees and asylees were naturalized in that same time span. Advocates seek work permits for long-term, undocumented immigrants in the U.S. A growing number of immigration advocates are urging President Joe Biden to grant work permits to long-term, undocumented immigrants living in the United States. They say it would provide individuals with legal employment opportunities and alleviate labor shortages. While the president has the power to grant this through an executive order, the White House has not confirmed any plans to do so. The administration has been hesitant to address the issue of legal work for the nearly 11 million immigrants who don't fall into available immigration categories. I don't think that we have ignored the voices domestically that have spoken of the fact that we have undocumented individuals in the United States who have been undocumented and without work authorization for years and years. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas told reporters in April. Meanwhile, in New York, organizations rally for NYC to add schools in Brooklyn, Queens for immigrant students. A Brooklyn-based organization assisting young immigrant students held a rally to demand more schools tailored to Black bilingual immigrant learners. Since the spring of 2022, more than 190,000 migrants have come through New York City's intake system, according to Mayor Eric Adams' office. Of those, research suggests tens of thousands are migrant children who have recently enrolled in New York City public schools. As more multilingual immigrant students enroll, some advocates are asking the city to build more schools with better resources tailored to the needs of these learners. What do we want? Flamboyant Literacy Project founder and director Darnell Benoit chanted into a megaphone. More schools. The crowd responded. Hundreds packed Clinton Hill Town Hall about frustrating, disastrous migrant mega shelter. More than 200 Clinton Hill residents crammed into a standing room only meeting Monday night to raise their concerns about a compound of sprawling migrant shelters, where an estimated 4,000 people now live in a 2-block radius. Over the past 2 years, New York City officials have opened more than 200 emergency migrant shelters in hotels, warehouses, tents, and vacant office buildings, but few at as large a scale and as close to a residential neighborhood as the Hall Street complex, with 3 main shelters spanning several industrial warehouses. The quiet opening of another shelter for hundreds more migrants across the street from the complex in April makes the area the largest concentration of migrants outside of Randall's Island. NYPD Assistant Chief Scott Henderson, who oversees Brooklyn North, told the crowd. In other news, lottery applications for highly educated worker visas dropped by almost 40% after changes aimed at fraud and abuse. Authorities have taken decisive action to maintain the integrity of the visa system. They recently reported on that bids for visas aimed at highly educated workers have decreased by nearly 40% this year. This decline is a result of their rigorous efforts to combat individuals exploiting the system by submitting multiple, sometimes questionable, applications to unfairly boost their chances of selection. Major technology firms utilizing H-1B visas have advocated for reforms in response to significant increases in bids. These increases left their current employees and potential hires with diminished prospects of winning in the random lottery system. Acknowledging the likelihood of fraud and abuse, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced this year that each individual would only have one opportunity in the lottery, regardless of whether they held one job offer or multiple offers. Foreign graduates reached settlement with DHS over visa denials. In a significant victory, a group of foreign college graduates has reached a settlement in a lawsuit filed against the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The graduates, who were accused of visa fraud without a chance to defend themselves, have seen the DHS retract its allegations, marking a positive turn in their legal battle. And finally, legal immigration restrictions expected with potential second Trump. Experts caution that a second Trump administration could restrict legal immigration. This may involve measures such as limiting certain temporary foreign worker programs and halting immigration processing in categories facing a significant backlog. Thank you.
Our weekly immigration news roundup is brought to you by the law firm of Figueroa & Associates. For consultation on any immigration or legal matter, please call 855-768-8845. That's 855-768-8845. For full stories and more immigration news, visit www.theimmigrantsjournal.com. That's www.theimmigrantsjournal.com.